Hi, I'm Samrudh, and today I'll be explaining natural selection by walking you through one of the most famous examples in evolutionary biology, which is the peppered moth. This case shows how species can change in response to their environment and how quickly evolution can happen when selective pressures are strong. So natural selection is one of the main mechanisms for evolution. It's the process by which organisms with traits that give them an advantage in survival or reproduction are more likely to pass on those traits to the next generation. Over time, these traits become more common in the population. The concept was first described by Charles Darwin, and it's built on three ideas: variation in traits, inheritance of traits, and differential survival and reproduction. The peppered moth is a species found in Europe and North America. It comes in two color forms, a light color form and a dark color form. And before industrialization, the light form was much more common as it blended in with the light colored bark of trees and helped it avoid predators like birds. And so before the Industrial Revolution, so in the early 1800s, tree bark in many forests were covered with pale lichens. Light colored moths were camouflaged against these trees and where they were less likely to be eaten by birds, and the dark color moths on the other hand stood out against the bark and were more targeted by predators. So the light colored moths had a clear survival advantage. But things changed during the Industrial Revolution. So factories released soot and pollutants into the air, which kill the lichens and darken the tree bark. And suddenly the advantage flipped. The dark colored moths were now blending in better with the sooty trees, while the light colored moths became an easier target. And so as a result, the dark form became to increase in frequency. And this is a clear case of natural selection in action. And so the scientific evidence was there, and this change was studied scientifically in the 1950s by Bernard Kettlewell. He released both the light and dark moths into different environments and recorded which ones were eaten by birds. His results show that the color of the moths affected its survival based on the background environment. And so that's direct evidence of natural selection shaping a population. And this matters because the pepper moth story is very important because it shows evolution happening in over just a few decades. It connects ecology, pollution, genetics, adaptation, and basically reminds us that evolution isn't just something from the distant past. It's something that's happening all the time, especially when environments are changing rapidly. And here are my sources. Thank you.